of Edith Head's dress. And Edith Head, as you know, is a brilliant Academy Award-winning clothes designer. And there's a very interesting story about this dress, actually. When Edith first was fitting me for it, she had the shoulders up like this, and she went out of the room for a second, and I started moving around and waving my arms like I usually do when my audience demands, and I felt so constricted. I really couldn't wave them around like that. So when no one was looking, I went like that on the right side and like that on the left side and pulled it down, and then I could really move it around, and nobody seemed to notice. And we started filming, and the next thing you know, I found out that Edith had won an Academy Award and I didn't. That's how that happened. But the fabulous Chris Monch, who was from San Francisco and was on Project Runway, recreated this incredible dress that Edith had done as well. So I think he did an incredible job. Absolutely love it. It traveled well too.
What was your favorite film to do?
Oh God. Aren't they all your favorites?
They are.
There's so many for so many different reasons. I think Now Voyager is one of my personal favorites, as a matter of fact. I think it's an incredible transformative story. And there were so many things going on in my life as I made different films. But that would have to be one of my special ones. And of course, All About Eve. You have to realize, after 18 years and 52 movies at Warner Brothers, I was washed up. I was basically box office poison. And then Joseph Mankiewicz sent me the incredible script for All About Eve, which was originally for Claudette Colbert. And poor Claudette had a terrible accident, and I'm not sure quite how that happened. But the poor thing hurt her back, and she couldn't do it. And so he asked if I would, and I was a happy replacement. So that resurrected my career. And then again, the 50s started, and I had some ups and downs. And again, by the time Baby Jane came around, I was washed up again. So if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters the same, you're doing okay. And this was another one that resurrected me from the dead. Jack Warner, when asked if he would distribute the film for me and my friend Joan Crawford. We'll talk about her later. She wasn't so bad, it's true. We really did get along. She was an utter professional. But he said something to the effect, I wouldn't pay 10 cents for those two old bags. But it was distributed from 7 Odds, and it was an incredible sleeper hit. And it garnered me my 10th Academy Award nomination. And I was absolutely sure I was going to be the first actress to win 3 Academy Awards. But Anne Bancroft won for The Miracle Worker. But that was all right. I could live with that. And the film does live on. And it brought me here to you. Oh, no. That's probably Joan now.
Miss Davis, I hope this isn't too personal.
No.
I'd love to know who was your favorite husband.
Oh. Those 4 flops. Well, actually, my first husband was Ham Nelson, who was my childhood sweetheart. And poor Ham had to go through it with me becoming a star, and I basically chewed him up and spat him out. But he was a wonderful man. And my second husband was Arthur Farnsworth, and unfortunately he had a terrible accident and died on me. And then my third husband was William Grant Sherry, who was a well-built ex-Marine, and he gave me my daughter, B.D. Hyman, who wrote a wonderful book about me later. Which I found the title really ironic, My Mother's Keeper. As I recall, I kept her for many, many years. And then when we were making All About Eve, I met Gary Merrill, who I must say truly was the love of my life. But I think we both made the mistake of thinking that I was marrying Bill Sampson and he was marrying Margo Channing, which really wasn't the truth. And I begged Joseph Mankiewicz to write a sequel to All About Eve. I thought it would be an incredible idea to do 10 years later. And after Gary and I got divorced, I told Joe Mankiewicz, I said, Joe, about that sequel, I've tried it and it won't play.